And he said, listen, the Constitution is not a dead document because if it is, the people of this country will take it and put it in a back storeroom of some museum to gather dust. It is a living document, and that's why it is a guide for every American to live his life. When Al Lee first said, I ain't going, and I knew him well before that, when he first said, I'm not going, I wrote this column, and I used to write my own headlines in those days, and it was Liberty and Justice for All was the headline.
Okay.
And I explained that he had the right to appeal. He had the right to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court. The question is, what would he do if he lost them all? But at this moment, I said, you can't question him. He's exercising his right as an American. Well, I want to tell you, I spent this thing took several years, 3 or 4 years, but I spent the next 2 years in a kind of a literary purgatory.
Wow. Because you defended
my
him?
kid comes running in one night, and he said, hurry up, Dad, hurry up, come out. I go out on the porch. 2 guys are taking sledgehammers to my windshield.
Wow. And
they drive off. By that time, I was up to almost 4,000 or 5,000 letters because I was syndicated about 40 papers. And the local police come and they say, well, is there anybody who wishes you harm? I said, listen, pal, since Allie and I came along, it's like Sunday morning at the delicatessen. Take a number and wait in line. So I don't think you can help me in any way. They won't be back.
Sure.
All right, 3 weeks later, now I'm driving to work. I come to an intersection in front of my paper, and I'm going to go across the street and park up next to my paper. I'm driving a gray Monte Carlo. Another guy is driving a gray Monte Carlo coming down the street. He's got the green light. I got the red. He pulls into the curb. He gets out. Suddenly, 2 guys jump out of a Toyota and knock the hell out of his windshield.
Wow.
They think it's me.
Wow.
And I'm in the car waiting for the light to change, and I can't stop laughing. The guy is standing there with his mouth open, as well he should have. I pulled up to the curb and I said, listen, don't take it personally. That was only business. We got feces in the mail all the time. We got ticking alarm clocks that brought the postal inspectors in. They thought they were bombs. This went on and on and on. And it was very, I threw people out. I remember the head of the New Jersey Jewish War Veterans came in to my office, wore this hat, a veteran hat, and came up to me and he said, you're a disgrace to every Jew in America. I said, wait a minute. You're a war veteran? He said, can't you see the hat? I said, yeah, I can see the hat. I'm a war veteran too, so we're starting even. I happen to be Jewish too. And I don't know what army you were in, but my army won its war. So get the hell out of my office. Then I got the local NACP chapter president. He came in, and he said, you've got to stop writing these pieces about Ali. And I said, well, why? You tell me why. I will talk with you for an hour if you want. I will tell you my position. You tell me yours and why I should change mine. He said, well, because you're demeaning to all of the young black men in the country because you're leading them in the wrong direction. So I said to the guy, you could be right. I mean, I'm not omniscient. I can't say that I'm absolutely correct. Why don't we do this? You write a letter to the editor. You give it to me. I will give it to him, and believe me, I will make him run this letter the next day. So he said to me, do I have to sign it? I said, of course you have to sign it. He said, well, why would I sign it? I said, I sign my name every day to which you're complaining, but get out of here. And it went on for years. I still have a collection of the letters at home. People said, you should have been in the ashes at Buchenwald. But they're totally irrational because nobody understood, A, the constitutional situation. Nobody understood that he was using his rights as American. And nobody understood how that case ended. Most people think he was vindicated by the Supreme Court. He was not. I can tell you why if you're interested.
Why?
Okay. First of all, I got to tell you why I believed him. We went, 2 things I got to tell you about that. I'm on the Dick Cavett show. He was a national late time talk guy.
Right.
And I'm shilling for a book I wrote about the Olympics called How Many Miles to Camelot, the All-American Sports Myth. And I'm talking about it, and we get on the subject of Ali. So I tell this story. most people don't know. The way you decide whether a man is or a woman is a conscientious objector or not is, number one, there's an FBI report. Number two, the court appoints an arbiter. You sit with that arbiter in a locked room, and you don't come out until he says, I've decided. You come out, and he says he is or he isn't. Well, they picked a guy. They tried to stack the deck. They picked a guy named Grauman, Gruman. I don't remember his first name. He was a retired judge in Kentucky and a Republican, lifelong Republican. He comes out of the room, and he says he's a conscientious objector. Now, as far as I know, the adjudicator has never been overruled by any draft board in this country. But they said, no, we're going to go with the FBI report. And so that's why they took him. So I'm telling this story, and the producer runs out and he's drawing his palm across his neck like cut, cut, cut. And Cabot says, we got to go to commercial. I'm figuring, well, the nuts are calling the station. And he comes out and he says, I got this Grauman's son on the phone. He wants to talk to Jerry. Well, you know, Michael, as a performer with the media, you know that's manna from heaven, right?
Sure.
So they put me on with him, and the guy says, I just want to tell you, you got it totally right. My father died a broken man. He lost his friends. He left the country club or whatever it was he belonged to. And Jerry, you have it right. They just would not listen to him. All right, that's one part. Now, Ali gets told in Chicago he can't fight Ernie Terrell. He's already declared himself as a Muslim, Nation of Islam, I should say. There is a difference. And he's already declared that. And Mayor Daley, such a patriotic American, that he grabbed the microphone at the 68 convention, which I covered, and screaming at Abe Ribicoff, kike Jew bastard, and it's going all over the convention hall. He's such a great American. He says, I don't want these people in my city. So they go to Canada. He fights a great guy, George Chavallo, terrific man, great heart, and the chin of a poet. So, you know, there's not going to be a fight that means anything. So I go to Canada, and I go up to the gym. Now, if I ever make a movie with Michael, we're going to make it in Sully's AC Gym up in Canada, because that's the way a neighborhood gym should look. The windows are so dirty you can't see the street. I'm walking up the creaky stairs, and I get into the gym, and there's a teenager banging the hell out of a heavy bag, and nobody else is there. I said, where is everybody? Points to the back. I go in the back. Ali is on a rubbing table, and Luis Soria, the Cuban exile at work with him, is giving him a massage. He looks up, and he says, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I thought that I was told there was a fight. He said, you know this is no fight. And I said, yeah, that's true, but that's not why I came. And then he said, well, why'd you come? I said, I'll tell you something, Muhammad. I don't know what a grasp you have on the chain reaction of what you've done is, but some Americans are going to Canada, young Americans, because either they are conscientious objectors and therefore wouldn't approve them, B, they're so much against the war, or C, they just don't believe they need to serve. And they're getting political asylum in Canada. He said, so? I said, so I want to know if you're going home. 52 years he was my friend, the only fight we ever had. He jumped off the rubbing table. He got on my face. I thought he was going to hit me. And he said, you should know better than that, particularly because we're friends. You should know what I... Look, I don't make... If someone talks to you like this, you remember every word. I don't make the rules in America. But America's my birth country. No one's going to tell me I can't come home. If the government says I go to jail, and after my appeals and everything, I have to go to jail, then I will do it. And in that instant, any doubts I had evaporated. I believed it.
Wow, that's a great story.
We got to be friends.
Sure.
Of course, we were friends, right? And we got to be closer and closer. Now, he's going around the country. He's trying to get fights. The government is really involved in more than taking away his license. He's supposed to have a fight the last fight he had before they took away his license was against a good fighter named Zora Foley out in Arizona. And they go out to Chandler, Arizona. They go to Chandler, and there's an Indian reservation there. And they meet with the tribal council, and they say, look, you've got autonomy. We'll help you build a little, Ticker-Toy stadium. You can keep all the money from that, and we'll give you a piece of the pay-per-view. Let's make the match. And let them say his comeback is against the last guy for it. The Indians agree. Then they get a phone call from somebody in Health Human Services saying, look, you like that poverty money you're getting? You better think twice before you have this fight. They don't have the fight. And it's happened in town after town after town. Now, an Afro-American state senator in Georgia named Johnson discovers there's no boxing commission in Georgia, which is a part of the story because the governor first wanted to fight, and then when he got the heat, he said, this fight is not coming to Georgia. I forbid it. Well, Senator Johnson said, okay, I can fix him. He formed the Atlanta City Boxing Commission and granted Ali a license to fight Jerry Quarry. So now I say, I'm doing a show for public television.
Sure.
And Ali's coming back. I mean, it's perfect to do a show on.
Well, that's a great story, Jerry, well, and I wish that we had more time.
Oh, okay.
But of course, just getting the opportunity just to hear some of the historical things that you have dealt with over the years.
I'll come back for you.
Oh, absolutely. We absolutely would love to have you. But certainly, Jerry, thank you as as a sports enthusiast, and it's always good to hear these types of things about the past that most people wouldn't know. And certainly we want to have you back to share some more information, not only about the past, but we want to talk some present sports with you as well. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great evening of conversation. We've covered the role of the church. We've gained incredible insight about the sports world from a reporting legend. And so while you are praying for your favorite team to score, you should automatically remember this show because there was a great connection. So, so again, Jerry, thank you for your insight. And of course, where I encourage everyone to go out and look Jerry up, Jerry Eisenberg, and just look at his amazing career that he's had in sports. And I think you will be as impressed as we were here at Straight No Chaser.
If they like the books, they can get them on some of them on Amazon.
Oh, sure. I was going to give you a chance to shout out, but go ahead.
The one about Ali and boxing is on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, so go on Amazon and check out that book from Jerry Eisenberg about Ali. That'll be a great read for you. And, of course, certainly we can't forget about Bishop Lawson, Pastor Lawson, rather, who talked to us about the impressive work at Jumping Run Church early in the show. So it was just a great evening of conversation, and we certainly hope you enjoyed it. But that's all the time we have this week, so I just want to thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Pastor Lawson and Beezy. She is away this week, but we certainly thank her for all that she's done. And, of course, Pastor C, who is returned, and who can forget my main man, Thin Bad. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for allowing us to give it to you straight, no chaser. Bye. You've been listening to Straight No Chaser. So join us next week for more hot topics. And also, you can always catch us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, iHeartRadio.